And welcome back to another episode of Through the Customer Lens, where we are sitting down. We are taking a look at the very many insurance agency websites that we see all throughout the independent insurance agency space. And we're just giving our feedback, our honest thoughts, our objective, subjective criticisms on how we think it could be improved and how we can, if we were a customer or a prospect, we come to the website. What do we do? What's the experience like? As always, I'm joined by Sean Mulhern from GloveBox, and we're going to start here. Now, I know this agency. I know this agency owner. Karen Rowling is, I'm going to just use the word, she's a stud. And Karen, if you're watching this, utmost respect for you. You're a stud. Over in Tampa, Florida, and I know she's super successful, just really sharp, really smart. And I hope, and honestly, the way we came about this, Sean, is I just Google searched Tampa insurance, and I always go for like the first top 2 or 3 choices, and there she was. So she's doing something really well on her organic SEO. So kudos to you, Karen. And but we want to take a look at your website here and go there. So Sean, first thoughts, what do you think about the website?
First impression, it looks clean. It looks nice. It's not cluttered. My eyes are drawn to some of the distinct buttons. Right at the top, we see the request a quote. Right in the middle, in the hero block, we see the start a quote. So we see what we're driving to, but it looks really nice and clean. It's easy to look at.
Yeah, it's very well done from a design standpoint. I'll give them that. It's that the contrasting colors and the very clear call to actions and all of that. It's very clear. I mean, if I were to nitpick and be tedious, I probably would change this from yellow to blue just to give more contrast here. But that's subjective. But I think overall it's super sharp.
Yeah, I agree.
Now. One thing we notice here, what it drives to. It's always good to look at these websites and go, what does this drive to? What's the thing that you can just tell by looking at it is super important, and it's usually the main call to action. And it's a lead gen. It's lead gen. It's start a quote. We want customers to come to the site. We want to generate leads from the site. We want to get new quoting opportunities. I like here that they have this drop down between personal and commercial. I don't know that customers always understand what that means, but we'll just assume that they do. But what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I mean, we see it on a lot of agency sites. The primary focus, this is not selfish by any means, but it's more like what I want. I want my clients to quote, and we're really only thinking about the new quoting process, which is fine. It's definitely, we've seen a lot of web pages this way where they're optimizing almost like a landing page to drive sales, which I think is great. And this one looks great doing it. But some, as an asterisk, and we're not going to go deep into it on this one, but we always got to remember, what are my current clients coming to do as well? But this quote flow, is very easy to get into. It at least gives a little bit more of a, hey, what am I looking for? The page that you're on right now, I noticed this as well. I'm interested in personal lines, and then what type of insurance. I think it's helpful to say personal, commercial, but I agree with you, Nick. I think a lot of times people aren't necessarily thinking that way. They're kind of just going, hey, I need a car insurance.
It's a little jargony.
Yeah,
it's a little jargon based.
And I didn't go through this flow. I didn't want to go fill out something to drop in and get the agency working on something. But I'm curious what is behind the submit. Is the submit just?
Should we just test it?
Let's test it.
Should we just test it? I mean,
at least she'll know. Maybe put your name in. Maybe she'll know it's you. Or mine.
I'm going to say, let's do a mix. Let's do a mix of names. See, Airs is too simple, so let's do. She'll never know. All right. This is a test, just so they know. A test at AOL.com, and we're going to do 555 15 2 3 4 5 6. All right. So, Karen, if you're watching, I'm sorry, we took up, we hacked.
What's the guess? Does it go to another page to grab more info, Nick, or do you think this is it?
I would like to think it goes to another page, but my guess is that this is just going to give me a confirmation that this actually happened. So let's see.
Drum roll.
Moment of truth. Maybe through the power of editing, we'll speed this up.
Moments of truth right now.
I don't know. I don't know if this is a me thing or a website thing, but this is not good. Is this a me thing? We're gonna chalk this up to a me thing.
Hopefully.
But if I was a customer and this was happening to me, I would just bow. Oh, there we go.
Okay, so we got like a little iframe. That
Yeah.
I don't know. That's I don't like that. It's
Yeah.
long. It's stuck in there. So it's certainly in a an iframe or in bed that's being used here. But to me, when I'm thinking about this, I think not saying the agency is not going 100% of the way. I just don't think a lot of times we think through this is like we've almost taken this quote flow 90% of the way there. And the last 10% is where that magic happens, is what does the client feel right now? They somehow got to the page. You got them to click a quote. They put their information in, and Nick Mulhern on our fake quote here is stuck. Now they're just sitting here waiting.
Yeah.
Depending on.
Do you know what this makes me do? Immediately. You know what I'm going to do if I'm a customer? Forget this. I'm just going to call. I'm just going to call.
Yep.
Because I don't want to deal with this.
Exactly. And if it's after hours, if it's Friday at 4:00 in the afternoon, odds are you're not going to get a reply back. So maybe you call. That probably is the next step. But oftentimes it's open a new tab, go to Geico, go to Esurance. Like I don't want to just put my name in and wait. I need to get this done. I'm trying to get this done.
Yeah. I mean, let's play this out. Let's assume that Karen was using GloveBox. How would this work?
Really easy. I mean, there's really hardly anything to change. We would probably swap out that request a quote button at the top with client login. It's what clients expect. If they're a current client, great, they're going to come right in. I'd remove that phone number because clients don't typically want to call unless, like we just talked about, unless they have to. I would then swap out the get a quote button for, again, basically our login button to log right in, because a client would log in and go right into very similar to what she's trying to accomplish here. Are you looking for personal lines? Are you looking for auto, for home? The client comes in and gets a whole menu. What are you looking for a quote on? They can select multiple items. And then we take that next step, that last 10% that goes, okay, tell us some of the details on your auto. What's the year, make, model, VIN, driver's license number, the details on the home.
It's just a much more comprehensive quoting flow, and customers can get led somewhere that's probably going to be just overall better for them, right? And so even if you didn't want to say, you wanted to change the vernacular, hey, like log in to get a quote, that's probably not. Maybe it's like access secure quotes here, like
correct,
so something like that. You can figure that part out. But it's driving them. The whole point is we're driving them to one central location for both sales and service. And whether they do it on a desktop like we're showing here, or they do it on their mobile phone or wherever, like the experience is pretty much the same.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's that last little step though, Nick, that just like you put your name and your email, your phone in, and you wait. You're not done. It's incomplete. You can't fully check out from the task at hand, and go back to your day-to-day life. You're gonna have to remember this and hope they get back to you and go, hey, I got to check my email, see if they sent something back. If we can get through the next little iteration of, okay, cool, here's your info, but here's the details on the policy that we need to get a quote on, in your head, you're done. Yeah, I've submitted everything I need, and I'm just waiting for the quote to come back, not ultimately another set of emails to go, here's what I need to get from you, and now I got to go find it, or can we schedule a call? And oftentimes you don't want to send details on the quote, the application through an email. There's a lot of PII on those. So certainly it's not as secure, but it's also more work to manage, and you want to make it so that you want to make it frictionless. The less friction that the policyholder has to do a thing with the agency, the happier the client is, the more likely they are to buy, retain, and refer out, as opposed to when you add friction, they're frustrated, they're more irritated, they're more annoyed, the less likely they are to buy, retain, refer you out. And that's only the policyholder side. I guarantee whoever gets that email is now going, okay, cool. This client requested a quote. Was it just car insurance, or did they need other things? Do I need to call them? Oh, they put a 555-123-456 in the phone number. Is it even real? Maybe they don't want to put their number in. Now there's overhead. There's more friction for everyone, the agency staff and the policyholder.
Yeah. I mean, overall, I give this from just an overall perspective. There's Karen right there. From an overall perspective, I think this is a very solid website. I think it's, in my opinion, it's much further along than some of the other ones we see.
Absolutely.
But I think just these small tweaks would be really beneficial.
Yeah. I mean, Nick, I feel like we have to do it too. Click that client services link at the bottom or at the very top under resources. Yeah. This one just irks me every time. We see it all the time. We think we're helping out the client here. It really is. It's because intuitively you think we're doing something right. We're giving the policyholder too much credit. We think they know who their carrier is. We think they do, but they think they're with Cyber Insurance. They think you're the carrier. So if they somehow land here after hours on the weekend and they need to do some servicing interaction, and then they somehow remember they had auto owners and they've got to pay a bill, it's confusing. The client doesn't really know what to do here, and you're even kind of poking around. I can see your face, and insurance.
Yeah,
you're bouncing around.
Yeah,
what's your account number?
It just automatically brings you here. It always ends at a dead end. We're assuming that they know the carrier they're with. We're assuming they're going to find it on the website. We're assuming that they're going to end up making the 17 clicks needed to get to this dead end screen of what's my account number. And they're going, I don't know. Why would I know that? I barely remember my kid's birthday. You want me to remember this?
Yeah.
I don't know what this means.
And what do they end up doing? They close this tab. They scroll right back to the top. They see the phone number. They call. And agencies say it. We want our clients to call us. And we say it all the time. Do your clients want to call you? They're calling because they have to. Yeah. You definitely want to be available for hey, I need to get a secondary home or something's happening here. I need the advice. People don't need the advice on how to grab a document. They don't need advice on how to update their credit card. We just need to walk them to where they need to go elegantly and strategically so that they're happier, they're quick, they're in, they're out, and let's reduce the workload for everyone. Everyone, the policyholder and
your time is more
the
valuable. Bottom line, your time is more valuable. That's just the bottom line. All right, we're gonna wrap this one up. Karen, thank you so much for letting us tear this down a little bit. I hope you're doing well, and we'll see you guys on the next episode.